Because a name is inactive, it doesn't mean they can't be used to vote. They're still registered to vote. They're still registered voters. Inactive is just a name, is just a category that the states have come up with to justify their failure to clean up the list. Oh, that's an inactive name. They don't get a ballot. It doesn't matter if they don't get a ballot. Because they still can vote. They can ask for a ballot. Someone in their name could ask for a ballot. Some Chi-Com can ask for the ballot. Further demonstrating Judicial Watch's leadership in the area of election security, clean elections, fair, honest elections, you name it, the Trump Justice Department filed a motion in court this week, in federal court, to intervene in Judicial Watch's massive lawsuit to clean up 873,000. That's right, 873,000. It's probably closer to 1 million, but those are the numbers we're getting from California, to clean up 873,000 dirty voting names off the voter rolls in California. And the Justice Department looked at our allegations. They are as concerned about them as we are because they're based on admissions by the state, information they share with the federal government on their voter registration data. And they said, we want to join too, the Justice Department did, to enforce the law, the National Voter Registration Act, and another federal law, the Help America Votes Act. I think it's called Help America Voting Act, which only they can enforce. We can't enforce it privately. Yeah, the Help America Vote Act. The Justice Department, as I said, is right, following Judicial Watch's lead, and to join our fight to clean up California's dirty voting rolls. The Justice Department is on target in calling California's voting rolls among the worst in the nation, and our lawsuits and legal actions have already caused the removal of 6 million dirty voter names from the rolls. Another million or so must be cleaned further in California. So we welcome the Justice Department's effort to intervene here. The court will obviously consider, hopefully grant it. I'm done predicting what courts are going to do these days since I was so sorely disappointed with that horrible decision by the Supreme Court in our Election Day case. So even if I think we're going to win, I'm not going to tell you because I don't trust the judges, or I don't trust myself to be fair to the judges. I don't trust myself to accurately predict what they're going to do sometimes. So we're representing Don Wagner, who's a candidate for office in California, against Shirley Weber, who is the Secretary of State in California. The Justice Department's proposed complaint and intervention names California Secretary of State Shirley Weber as a defendant and states the intervention was filed to enforce provisions of the National Voter Registration Act and the Help America Vote Act of 2002. Federal law, I want you to pay attention to this, requires most inactive voter registrations to be removed after 2 general federal elections. So they have forever and a day to remove the names once they know they're gone. People have moved or died. They don't do it. Judicial Watch's federal lawsuit alleges that over 873,000 California voter registrations have remained continuously inactive for at least 3 federal elections. And some for much longer. This is what makes the China compromise so bad, because they have names that could potentially vote if China knew what they were doing. They're so old. Of these registrations, 326,000 have remained continuously inactive through at least 3 consecutive federal elections. So that's 6 years. 151,000 have remained inactive through at least 4 consecutive general elections. 33,000, it's actually nearly 34,000, have remained continuously inactive through at least 5 consecutive federal elections, dating back at least 10 years. Before the 2016 federal election, they've got people who have been dead or moved away for 10 years. They don't want to remove them. Not to mention the issue of having non-citizens on the voter rolls. Because one of the things that President Trump highlighted this week is that they've done an analysis, DHS has, of voter databases to the extent they've been able to, because the leftists don't want to cooperate, and they've been helped by anti-Trump judges who are completely out of control these days. They found, for example, in California, as many as 190,000 people are on the rolls who are aliens. They're illegally registered to vote. So at least 190,000 names need to be checked out to make sure they're citizens. In addition, there are 800,000 plus names, nearly 900,000, that are just dead names, meaning they're not active, but they are zombie names in the sense that they can still be used to vote in an election. Because a name is inactive, it doesn't mean they can't be used to vote. They're still registered to vote. They're still registered voters. Inactive is just a name, is just a category that the states have come up with to justify their failure to clean up the list. Oh, that's an inactive name. They don't get a ballot. It doesn't matter if they don't get a ballot, because they still can vote. They can ask for a ballot. Someone in their name could ask for a ballot. Some Chi-Com can ask for the ballot. Update the address. Get the ballot mailed there. This is a national security issue. The Chinese, it seems, have open access to our voter data. And when you have this mass mail-in balloting, when you have dirty voting lists, the threat from that is exponentially increased. So everyone says, what's going to be done about President Trump's speech, what he found? I tell you what, Judicial Watch is doing the most effective thing possible about it right now, cleaning up the voting names, cleaning up the voting lists. Those are fewer opportunities for voter fraud every time a name is removed, thanks to Judicial Watch. And we've removed 6 million. Our lawsuit settlements, our legal actions. The lawsuit in California was filed on behalf of Don Wagner. He works, he's an elected member of the Orange County Board of Supervisors. He's a candidate for the California Secretary of State. And we're representing the American Independent Party, a third party in California as well that's pretty influential. We're assisted by the Benbrook Law Group in Sacramento. And just so you know, Judicial Watch doesn't do some of this work alone. We often rely on local counsel that we partner with. Those of you who are, I'm not a lawyer, but those of you who are lawyers will know you need local counsel. You go and sue in California, and it's good to have sometimes local counsel, even if we do have lawyers who are barred in the various states. It's good to have people who are there on the ground helping us with the litigation that we're engaged in. So we're always grateful for these other lawyers out there. So there are all these kind of people who don't get enough credit in our litigation and our great work. In April 2026, Judicial Watch settled with Oregon. They're removing 800,000 names from the voting rolls. Colorado recently removed 372,000 eligible names thanks to Judicial Watch lawsuit and settlement. In Kentucky, state election board officials reported roughly 735,000 ineligible voter registrations have been removed from voter rolls as part of a 2018 consent decree that Judicial Watch had entered into with the state, the Commonwealth. I guess Kentucky's Commonwealth, right? As part of the 2022 settlement, New York City alone has removed 918,000 ineligible names from its rolls. We cleaned up rolls in North Carolina, in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and we have an active lawsuit to clean up probably 1 million more names in Illinois. And more's coming. So what do you think? What do we got to do? Got to get the Save America Act passed. We need to make sure that the crooks in the deep state who tried to destroy our republic by rigging the election to help Joe Biden are pursued, prosecuted where appropriate, and justice be done there. And we got to get Judicial Watch support. You've got to give us support. I'll be blunt. If you're already doing it, thank you. But without this support, we wouldn't have these lawsuits to clean up the rolls. The Justice Department is now finally showing up. We're grateful for Harmeet Dillon, our friend, and Todd Blanche, the incoming Attorney General. I watched his testimony this week, and it's pretty clear the Democrats didn't know what to do with him. So he's going to be the Attorney General, barring an act of God or something. But you need to support Judicial Watch because we are the leader on election integrity. We are the leader in uncovering the government corruption and sedition, demanding access to this information, pressuring it, pressuring the courts, pressuring through the courts for access to the information, and using the courts to clean up the rolls and enforce election laws otherwise. And thank God President Trump is personally interested in this transparency issue. And that's why these documents were released as well. So go to Judicial Watch's website, give us your most generous contribution. It's a charitable contribution. It's tax deductible under law. And if you've already supported us, wonderful. And I encourage you, I hope you feel vindicated through your support and encouraged to support us again. Because if Judicial Watch isn't doing the heavy lifting, I fear it's simply not going to be done. It's not going to be done. So this has been a terrifically significant week for election integrity, our anti-corruption efforts, and America, our elections need saving. And I can't implore you enough to take action, to support Judicial Watch, let Congress know what you think about the Save America Act, and frankly pray for God's protection for our system of government, which is under assault in so many ways and variations. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.